and you are a entrepreneurial mom, either just starting out in business or new to your business, then come on over and join us for some great resources, tips, tools, and really other aggressive and strong, motivated women. Alrighty, so let's do that there. But I want to go ahead and get started. I want to be respectful of your time. So today I decided on the weekends, I wanted to kind of loosen up a little bit. During the week, you all ask me questions that I can't always get to in the videos. So I want to make sure I do that. Thanks for the love over on Periscope. So I want to make sure that I do that and get to your questions and really address the topics it is that you want to know more of. So what was asked to me this week comes from Jessica Walker, and she's in our Facebook group. She is a mom entrepreneur as well. She really teaches all things mom. You really have to go to Jessica Walker Research and find out more about what it is that she does. She's doing some fantastic things in technology with around mindset and things like that. Fantastic. And her question was, how do you stay motivated as a mom? And she wants to know how you stay motivated in life and in business. So that's really a huge one I think that we all go through. And while I'm doing this, as you're on here, give me some of the tips and some of the things it is that you do and ways that you stay motivated as a mom. Of course, I wrote down a few so I can stay focused here and make sure that I give you and make sure that I don't expand out and go on and on with this talk. So I always write a few things down. But I'm going to look forward to your comments and what it is that you do. So, Jessica, this is for you and everybody that can benefit from this. How it is that you stay motivated as a mom. I have 6 tips that have worked pretty well for me. It's really getting better and better as my children get older. I do want to put this caveat in even before I do this. It is possible to gain balance. And, of course, balance is relative. Balance is relative to your situation and your circumstance. It is possible to gain balance in any situation. Hey there, Glycopene over on Periscope. It's possible to gain balance in relative to your situation, but it's something that you have to create. It's something that you have to be conscious about and be intentional about. Not only that, you'll have different levels of balance as your children are growing up and going along. Now I find a little bit more time for myself and pursuing my dreams now that my kids are a little bit older. Now, when they were younger, it's not that it wasn't possible then. I just had to do it a little bit differently then. I remember, for example, when I was getting my master's degree and my girls were toddlers. I have 3 girls, none more than 2 years apart. I was getting my master's degree. I remember literally setting my alarm for 1 o'clock in the morning. I would try to get a quick nap, go to bed, do a few things with my family, try to be there present with them, take them to school, drop off, still trying to work out myself, making sure that I was okay. But I still had things to do and goals to reach. At the time, for me, it was my master's degree. And it was things that it was necessary. So I had to set my alarm sometimes for 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Other times I was literally up all night and over into the morning until 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. But it was part of the balance it is that I had to do for me, because I knew as younger children and as young babies, you can't tell a child, go to your room, right? You can't tell a child, hey, be quiet, because it's just not something that they're capable of doing, and it's just not feasible. So it's about creating a realistic expectation for yourself for the season it is that you're in. But it's absolutely possible relative to your balance, okay? So here are some tips that I wrote down, and that was the caveat. So here are some tips that I wrote down for you that you can start with, okay? The very first way that you can maintain balance as a mom in life and in business is by setting expectations, okay? You have to set expectations for yourself, okay? And the expectations, when I say setting for yourself, you have to set goals. Okay, you have to set short-term goals. Now, while it's fantastic to have vision boards, I have one. While it's fantastic to write out your long-term goals in terms of 5 years, 10 years plan. Thanks for the love over on Periscope. I appreciate it. It's fantastic. Let me tell you all something. There is power in writing down short-term goals. Okay, there's a huge power around that and writing it down and putting it in a place where you see it all the time. Because as you complete those goals, you check them off. you check them off. And when you see those little check marks, there's something about the momentum that it gives you. Something clicks off for you biochemically, literally, that says, wow, if I did this, what else is it that I can do? So you want to create that motivation around yourself by setting parameter. And one of those ways is setting expectations for yourself. Okay, in the long term is fine, but make sure you get that short term up there. You also want to make sure that you create time around the task it is that you're given for your goals. Thank you so much for the love. You also want to make sure that you create time increments around the task it is that you are creating for yourself in terms of those short-term goals. Now, I know you're looking at me here, for example, whenever I broadcast, you see behind me, I have a whiteboard, and there are things that go up there constantly. You see check marks by things, you may see things added on, etc., etc. That's so motivational for me, and it also helps to keep me focused. But when I look at those things, I also have for myself a time chart that I assign those things to each and every day that I go to them. So for example, when I reply to emails and respond to them, I've created a window of 45 minutes. I can go through my email, respond to whomever is reaching out to me, respond to whatever inquiries it is that I have, whatever that looks like. And I know I have 45 minutes flat. That's a little bit different than just creating a to-do list, because a to-do list can actually just kind of sit there and you end up marking it off and you carry it over to the next day and it just kind of goes on and on. Well, if you do something like that, hey, thanks for joining in on Periscope. Tell me who you are. Tell me who you are as we go through this. But as you... Hi, welcome, Connie. Hi, Deb. Welcome, Connie. I see it's your very first time. Welcome to Periscope. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic way to broadcast and get instant feedback and engagement. So welcome. I wish you all the best on your scopes. And thank you for joining in. So I went over, So as you create these tasks that it is that you have to do, ensure that you put up there a time increment around it. What will happen is it will help you to stay focused, and what happens also with that is you get more done, opposed to that infamous to-do list where you know you can get it done, but you haven't really set any time parameters around it, so you end up carrying it over and then it ends up not getting done. You lose momentum, you lose motivation. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Number one, if you're watching this, please write down set expectations. Right under that is for yourself. The next set of expectations you should have are for your family. You have a goal and you have an intention that you are moving from. The people around you and who love you most and who especially share a home with you should know what your expectations are, because this is your dream. This is your gift. This is your calling. So they don't know what's going on with you fully. They don't know the change it is that's happening to you. They just know you as mom or spouse or partner, whatever the case may be. But this whole entrepreneurial thing, while it may not be new, your vision is evolving every day. So you're learning more and more what it is that you need to do, how it is you need to set yourself up, and what it is that you need for yourself in order to flourish and move forward in this. So you need to set some expectations for your family. Of course, that includes your significant other, meaning you need to let them know things like when it is that you need to have some alone time. So you may be planning during that time. You may be just sitting and relaxing, clearing your mind, meditating, getting clear on what it is you want to do. You need to also, what else did I put here? Oh, you also need to let them know how they can support you. What is it that you need from them that would help you the most? Now, when you go to them with this, it is my strong suggestion that you are reminded that this is your dream. You can't expect them to do things for you or to replace you in certain circumstances. But how can they support you in a way that really doesn't disrupt them? Because they're working on their own dream and your dream is not theirs. And it doesn't mean that they love you any less, right? So if you're with me, hit me with some hearts. Go ahead and share this out information. This is some really good stuff that we need to kind of keep in mind and how we need to stay motivated on task personally and professionally. So that was, let me see here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I said 5, 6 here. I think that I had my subcategories listed. So that was actually 7 that I will have when we get finished, including subcategories there. Now, I talked about setting expectations. That was for yourself. Then we said for your family. Now I want to talk about setting the expectation for your children. And this is especially valuable for those of us with older children. Now, again, you'll need to make it relative. Thanks for the love over on Periscope. You'll need to make this relative to your situation. But when it comes to your children, you need to make sure that you are scheduling and you set the, first of all, set the expectation for them that it's during this time that you're going to have to leave mommy alone. So you're going to have to create an activity or some circumstance for them so that they're occupied, so that during your time that you need to be alone, that they are busy enjoying themselves and less likely to disturb you. Those times include playtime. I know when my girls were younger, they had a playroom, and there was 1 hour out of the day they could not bother me. Their room was fully kid-proof, so I would put them in their room, put their gate up. They could just enjoy, write, do whatever it is that they wanted to do. Another time that you can schedule this in is during nap time. Okay, so if they're younger kids and still take naps, however that looks for you, make sure that you schedule it during that time. And that way you know for sure that it's highly likely, I should say, that you won't be bothered. They won't be able to come out and to disturb you during that time. Also, if they're older kids, like you have mine, like I have, you have to remind them that I won't be taking you anywhere during this time. We're not going anywhere during this time. I won't be answering any questions for you during this time. There's no additional company coming over during this time. There's nothing that's going to go on that won't support what it is that I need in this moment, and that's alone time. Set that expectation for your children and stay true to it. Here's kind of a little bonus tip with that. Usually around the same time works, and you kind of train them in their behavior. Just like you kind of trained your child to take a nap, you can train your older children as well around your time parameters or around the expectations it is that you make for yourself. Okay, so I hope this is making sense to everybody. Hit me with some love. Let me know one way or the other. I'm still looking for those tips here on Periscope. Tell me, what are some things that you do to maintain motivation? Mocha Mob, I know you are highly motivated. So what are you doing? This is my family, you all, and if you haven't checked her out, check her out at mochamob.com. That mob stands for Mommy of Boys. Fantastic information, and she pours into the community all the time, has a wonderful newsletter. Great stuff. She's a highly motivated mom. So greatness just surrounds me. So while we're doing that, going on to the next thing you want to do, and I think I mentioned this actually earlier, or I touched on it. I talked about creating that list, right? As you're creating that list, and I won't go too much further into it. Yes, surrounding yourself with like-minded people is so important, isn't it, Mocha Mob? It just really fuels and gives you momentum, right? It's nothing like it. I had the pleasure of that again last night, being with a like-minded individual, and I was so inspired, and I did some collaborating and we did some partnering, and it's really wonderful. Thank you for that. That is absolutely another tool. But the other thing I said here was creating that list. Like I said, I won't go too far into that. At first, I thought I was going to be able to show you a longer list, an extended list of goals it is that I have for myself, because I create quarterly goals as well. And what I've learned to do is kind of put it out on a chart, and it's actually up in my hallway. I'm still tweaking and have to add some things. I'll have to show you that one day, but we're not prepared in my house for me to get up and kind of move around. But go ahead and set those goals out. I discussed with you short-term goals in the beginning. Don't forget about those long-term goals. We want to go from daily to weekly to monthly to quarterly to yearly. Don't be too hard on yourself if you can't figure out the yearly, if you can't figure out the quarterly, if you can't figure out the monthly, if you can't even figure out the weekly. Go with what you have right now. Just take the first step and create today's goal. But you have to start somewhere and allow that momentum and belief to carry you to the next. So create a list for yourself. Okay, so go ahead, put that down. Create a list. That's another way to stay motivated as a mom in business and in life. The other thing is you have to schedule chill or relaxation time. This is so hugely important, you all. We usually say we have this, or we try and get some chill time or some downtime or R&R, whatever it is you want to call it. But so often, one of the biggest destroyers, one of the biggest things that really, sabotage, that's the word. One of the biggest sabotages it is that we have around our relaxation time is ourselves. We carry such guilt when we choose to take time to do nothing. I literally wrote a book, and in the book, one of the chapters talks about how doing nothing is doing something. Because when you're doing nothing, you're actually doing nothing for other people. You're actually doing something for yourself. And one of the ways that you can sabotage that time of replenishment and rejuvenation is by feeling guilty for doing something for yourself, or starting to think about what it is you need to do when you get up. Release all of that stuff. Release all of those things. And in the moment that you have created for yourself to relax, just relax. It will help you I'm telling you, it's one of the things that help you stay motivated as a mom in life and in business. Shout out. Thanks so much on Periscope. Thanks for the love. The next thing, which really is of great union with what it is that I just said, it really works in tandem with this, is tell everybody no. Everybody. Tell them no. It's really just that simple. When you have created this time for yourself, you get it over here, Mocha Mob, right? When you have created this time for yourself and you are doing these things, you have to tell everybody no. That includes the kid who's crying, who's telling you, but it hurts so bad, Mom. I just can't believe it, that you're not listening to me, right? And of course, this hopefully goes without saying that this is barring any emergency or extenuating circumstance. Surely you take care of that. So, but anyway, any, husband or wife, any husband or significant other that you're saying, that's telling you, oh dear, I need you, come here, I have to tell you something, I have to show you something. The answer is no. And no is a complete sentence. You don't have to explain that. You don't have to go into any long drawn out explanation. There is nothing that goes with that outside of the period behind the word. The answer is no. Right? Own it. Don't feel guilty about it. Okay? So we can move on from that, hopefully. I think you got it over here, Mocha Mom. And the other one is setting parameters around yourself that support your goals. Now, this really works in tandem with that, setting expectations for yourself. But this one is just a little bit more of a conscious decision. And when I say that, meaning it's so much more thoughtful. And I thought that it deserved its own number or spot on this list, because when you set parameters around your goals, now you have these expectations and you've put them out into the ether or universe or on your vision board, whatever it is that you do, you've put it out there. Now that you put the expectation out there, there needs to be some things around it to ensure that this happens. And those are called the parameters that you put around it, right? Which are some of the things that I kind of explained to you: setting schedules, telling everybody no, downtime, things like that. But what it also does or provokes in you is hopefully the conscious thought into anything it is that you are asked to participate in, volunteer with, schedule, anything like that. Hopefully it lends itself conscious thought to the fact or to the question, does this support the goals and expectations it is that I have established for myself? That is the parameter that you should be working within. Does every decision you make should support the goals it is that you made? That is how you stay motivated as a mom. That is how you stay motivated as a mom personally and professionally. You have to know that the decisions you are making, and I mean that goes from literally volunteer to paid activities. Is this in support of the goals the goals and expectations it is that I have set for myself? That way, when you do them, not only are you fulfilled and it helps you, but you'll be of a bigger and even more of a blessing and help to other people, because you're not only giving freely, you're giving excitedly, because you know you're creating a win-win situation. Does that make sense for you? Hopefully this is resonating with you and you understand how you can really incorporate these things in your everyday life. Now, it takes work and some untraining or paradigm shift, because this is not how society says we should be as women, as moms, but we've made a decision to do something different in this group. So I already know that this is something that we can do, but it's going to take the support, first of all, of ourselves, and the belief that we can do it, and the support of each other in our like-minded groups it is that we have on our broadcast, the people it is that we attract to our broadcast and that share it out, etc. But it can be done. So, any questions from that? Let me know. here on Mocha Mama. I know we're live here on Periscope. So tell me if we have anything around that, any assertions you have. I saw you joining in and letting me know some of the things some of the input and ways that you stay motivated as a mom, excuse me, and professionally or as a business owner. It looks like that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, that was so fun. That was our very first Q&A Saturday. Now listen, if you have some questions or a topic it is that you want me to go over, please definitely share that with me. You can put it right here in the comments. You can also join me on my private Facebook group. Look up YMTTM : You're More Than Their Mother. That's what it's under. YMTTM, the abbreviation for You're More Than Their Mother. Look that up. It should pop right up. Join us. We really have a good time. We are growing, as I told you earlier on this broadcast, and we're just having a good time. We are moms who are determined to live our dreams and be great mothers. So I hope this was of help to you, and I hope this met you right where you are. Please do share this out on all your social media platforms if that serves you and your group and tribe. And until next time, it's time to move beyond everyone else's expectations of who you ought to be and become the woman you thought that you could be. Bye.